I'm Greg Tepper. That's Greg Powers. This is This Week in Crootin. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our director of recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScouts. He's fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. And, of course, this is brought to you by our good chicken friends at Chicken Express. Chicken Express. If I had a chicken friend, I would not eat them. But, I'm just glad that these are friends who make chicken.
We had Chicken Express for the Texas Football Tonight meal on Friday. Oh, it hit so hard. I was so hungry. I hadn't eaten all day. It was like 4 p.m. I destroyed that yellow box.
Do you see the look I'm giving you?
Chicken Express.
I missed Chicken Express night in the studio.
I'm sorry.
Chicken Express is I want to be clear. Chicken Express is excellent anytime. But Chicken Express when you're really famished, you're really hungry. Oh man. It's very satisfying. You know what I mean?
Here's one thing I know.
Okay.
We have done our job now because when I go places, people ask me, did you have your Chicken Express?
Yes.
Chicken Express,
the brand.
Chicken Express is now synonymous with Texas high school football and especially Crootin. And
this is a branding win.
Makes me happy.
This is a branding win there. Thanks to our friends at Chicken Express. It's This Week in Recruiting. Let's start with our prospect on the rise. Our prospect on the rise, we're going to Sabine out east.
Let's go.
Talk about their senior athlete, Colt Sparks, who, aside from having just a spectacular name, picked up offers this week from Oregon State, Texas State, and Louisiana Tech. He had been committed as a PWO, preferred walk-on, at Texas Tech. He kind of said, my recruiting's kind of open now, and as a result, the floodgates have opened here, and he's getting some pretty sizable offers from across the nation, and good reason why. Colt Sparks, good-looking kid, can play a variety of positions. He's playing quarterback for Sabine, right?
Yep.
But he can move all over the place, and he is a playmaking dude out there in East Texas.
Four-sport athlete, basketball, baseball, runs track, plays football, 6'4", 6'5", in that 220-pound range, I think, right in that area. So, he brings a lot to the table as far as an athletic specimen, or when you think about an athletic specimen that can kind of do a little bit of everything. We might have listed him at 210, but he looks like he's grown so much since really the spring until now. He looks like a different player completely. Big and strong, and I think that's why you're starting to see these offers fly in for him, because he can project probably pretty favorably to that tight end position. Mm-hmm. And he's a stat producer at quarterback. I think he had a couple of really massive games, over 300 yards, 5 touchdowns this year. So he's been able to put up numbers playing quarterback. And just thinking about him, potentially being an athletic tight end, because you don't know. He probably has the size to block, but being an athletic tight end that can make things happen with the football in his hands has intrigued a lot of people. And I know Red Raiders fans have got to be a little bit sad because they had that Adam Hill-esque type of commit in this class in Colt Sparks, where they're going to be able to sneak him on as a preferred walk-on. But whenever you start to pick up a lot of attention and get P4 schools poking around your recruitment, it's probably a good idea to see, maybe I can go and play at this school completely on scholarship.
Yeah, it seems to me that Colt Sparks there at Tech, it was Tech was getting a real bargain there.
Yep.
Where it's we don't have to burn a scholarship on this. We can, if he's willing to come as a PWO, we would love to have him. But when you get offered full on offers, that's going to essentially outweigh a PWO offer, even if it was a PWO offer with the Dallas Cowboys. You know what I mean?
Right.
This would be a situation where for him, these full binding offers would be much more valuable and probably the better move for him. Although I will just say this, if you're Texas Tech and you really like the kid, you know what I mean? He's obviously interested in going to Tech. And if you upgrade that to a scholarship, I'm sure he'd I don't want to speak for Colt Sparks, but it seems to me that
or Tech,
exactly right. So it's one of those things where, again, like, good for Colt Sparks and people getting his name out there, and people starting to realize what a star he is, and an opportunity for one of these programs to come in and get, what would still be, I think, a real value add here.
No doubt about it. And by the way, I want to point out that we did elevate him to 3-star status as well. So he's one of the newest DCTF 3 stars, powered not only by a good senior season, but a tremendous Texas high school football career. He's been on the radar for a while, but really stepping into his own as prospect rankings are concerned, with his development not only on the field, but his development off of the field, and what he's kind of the metamorphosis that he's underwent over the last calendar year. He's a full-grown man now.
Yeah,
he's a man.
And the last cut there was him hitting a punt inside the 5. So he
can
does
do it all.
Let's get to our commit of the week. Our commit of the week is going to Crowley to talk about the Crowley's junior cornerback Brandon Ford, who committed this week to EMAW, Kansas State. He had offers from places like Houston, Texas Tech, SMU, a number of other schools, including Nebraska. He decides to pull the trigger as a junior and commit to Kansas State. Nice get here, and you told me that there is a connection here, that he has some connective tissue to the Kansas State program.
What is it?
Oh, I'm just saying, you were telling me about Van Malone being the guy who's been really at the helm of this.
I was just testing. I'm just testing you, man.
I'm just saying. That's what you're telling me beforehand.
Van Malone has done such a good job over the years recruiting the Lone Star State. He's like a grizzled veteran coach, right? Everybody kind of trusts his process there, but I would say that relationship probably goes back to Coach Lynn's, up and coming years, formative years in the Texas high school football coaching circles. Brandon Ford is a tremendous cornerback. I got to watch him live against North Shore, and dude played one of the best games that he's probably played in his life, consistently locking down, like, the guys that are playing at North Shore are all P4 guys, right, or close to being P4 guys, top tier talent. So he got a chance on every assignment to go against like a tier 1 guy, and he passed the test, coming away with a couple of interceptions and really showcasing his ability to lock down his half of the field. He could probably play safety because he's a hitter, but he's been really good at cornerback good he can just use his physicality and press, or I think he could be a good zone boundary guy too. So good range of skills there, and he had 18 offers at the time that he committed to Kansas State, or closing in on that 20 offer mark.
Friday night, Dave Campbell's Texan Live, North Crowley and Crowley, and I bet we see I'm not in the room, but I would imagine we see Quentin Gibson matched up against Brandon Ford, and that might be some box office.
That's must-watch TV.
That's going to be pretty
right
good
there
on Dave Campbell's Texan Live. Crowley and North Crowley, and Brandon Ford, the newest Kansas State commit, will be a big part of that. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our Director of Recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Get involved in the conversation at #TF Today. Let's roll on and round it out with our Underclassman of the Week. Our Underclassman of the Week, going back out east to talk about Tyler Legacy's sophomore offensive tackle, Demarion Johnson, who is now over double-digit offers as a sophomore, has offers from Baylor and TCU this week. He's already got offers from places like Tennessee, Texas Tech, Houston, and Arkansas. 6'6", 315-pound child. Greg Powers, your thoughts?
He's a big boy. No, I mean, coaches are going to be flocking back out to Tyler Legacy to get a chance to try to recruit this guy. Playing left tackle for them, he shows some pretty good short area burst and movement for such a big player that's a sophomore, well over 300 pounds. He's massive. I think he probably kicks inside at guard at the next level, just watching his tape from this year, but still 2 developmental years left. You really don't know how his body's going to change, because he does possess the length of a tackle, and he's going to get all the offers. I mean, he's going to be one of those kids who everybody comes after. East Texas is pretty good, especially Tyler. Over the next couple years, you have like big Demarion Johnson out there, and you have Trey Harrelson over at Tyler, Kadarius McMiller. So there's going to be a lot of coaches, I think, out there in that area recruiting, and they should stop in and get some good barbecue while they're out there.
I think so. You and I stopped at a barbecue establishment in Tyler and had a good time. It was good. It was a nice date.
It was a good time. We have If it's not Chicken Express, it's barbecue, right?
That's exactly right.
Now I'm going to have to try Chicken Express with barbecue sauce because I've never.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a gravy. You guys know I'm a gravy man in my heart.
You're a gravy.
Maybe
you are a gravy man. He's our gravy man. Greg Powers, our director of recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football.
I set myself up for that so
Follow
hard.
on Twitter at GPowersCouts. His fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting.